After weeks of scathing criticism and crises where some teams threatened to withdraw because of unacceptable conditions, the Commonwealth Games will open in New Delhi on Sunday. Even in the shadow of the opening ceremony, one Indian newspaper has reported that nearly half of the proposed army of 22,000 volunteers have quit. But at least all 71 competing member countries are definitely participating, and conditions in the athletes' village have improved after the intervention of the Indian government. Athletes and officials worried about the perceived terrorist threat have also been somewhat mollified by a dramatic boost to the security effort around the village and games venues, including 100,000 heavily armed police. Australia's Commonwealth Games Chief, Crosswhite, remains cautiously optimistic about these troubled games, and I crossed to him in New Delhi late this afternoon. Crosswhite, your response to conditions for these games has been positive from the outset, unlike some other officials. How confident are you now that these games are going to be a success?
I'm confident there'll be a success in that the athletes will compete in the games as they should and take part and they will have a good experience. At the end of the day, it's the athletes that have to decide probably whether a games are a success or not. The rest of us are here because of that, and we're trying to do everything possible to make that happen. And our jobs haven't been easy, but it's no solution to say, look, that things are too hard and let's all leave and go away.
Have you seen significant improvements in the state of the village since you arrived?
I have. I've seen significant improvement as far as the cleanliness, as far as organisation, as far as safety procedures. Probably a lot of the particular things that the organising committee had responsible for. We still are having problems with some of the basic services of power and plumbing, which tend to break down at different times. But the thing that's changed is they actually have people right onto the spot to fix them when that happens.
You, of course, have been on the Coordination Commission for these games. Did you see the problems coming some time ago, or have they surprised even you?
No, the Coordination Commission was well aware that the organising committee was quite a bit behind where they were supposed to be, and raised on a continuous basis. Actually, I was added to the Coordination Commission last December, and then we had two meetings, one in December and one in April, and at both meetings, from a Commonwealth Games Association perspective, we were very critical and trying to work with the organising committee to ensure that that they would catch up. But certainly that didn't happen, and of course now they're trying to catch up as the games are just about to start.
Australia's Olympics boss John Coates isn't the only critic to observe that New Delhi should never have been chosen for these games. How do you reflect on that in hindsight?
Well, it's always easy in hindsight. I mean, India's the largest nation in the Commonwealth. It's the most populous nation. It's a nation that's very, very strong democracy and a leader. I think that in the Commonwealth Games movement, I think everybody would believe that that India could host the games, and certainly the Coordination Commission and the CGF itself. That's the way they voted, and they had bid previously and hadn't had an opportunity to do so. So I'm sure in 2003 they thought this was the time.
Veterans of previous Commonwealth and Olympic Games can't recall one where security has been anywhere near as tight as this one, even Athens and Beijing. That might be reassuring for some athletes, but sad too, don't you think, that participants can't really feel free to be tourists in Delhi, as well as competitors, that some of the special atmosphere of an event like this disappears when you're constantly confronted by security bristling with guns?
Well, the security is very tight, and I guess, what we tell the athletes when they arrive, and it's there, as you mentioned, for their purpose. India's in an area of the world there's a lot of unrest, and so therefore, the Indians themselves every day live with all of this, these type of threats, and I think that they wanted to make sure that when the athletes arrived, that they would feel some security in where they're living and where they're going to compete and all of that sort of thing. But look, I don't disagree with you that it's going to be difficult for spectators, and observers alike to get in and out of venues and transport, because things are tight, and I guess that's necessary in the current situation. Certainly the experts are saying that.
Have Australian team members been briefed on how to react if something bad does happen?
Yes, they have. We have what we call a meet and greet session with every athlete that arrives, generally by their sport and by their session. We talk about we have a security advisor attached to the team. He goes over the processes for that. We have the federal police along with some of the police from some of the nations, and they're located at venues and on transport. And so there is a whole procedure, Kerry, and this is probably the first time we've ever had to do it, but it has to be done.
So after all the fuss, how would you describe the morale of the Australian team right now?
Well, Kerry, it's remarkable. I think, as I say, we underestimate our athletes. They're all here. They're all keen. They're all going to the dining room. They're all going out to the training sessions. They're getting on those security buses, which are, sometimes take a while. They just relax. And I look at them and say, you guys know what you're here for, and they all do. So I think, as I say, I think we have tremendous athletes in our country, and then we should all respect them really, really strongly. The morale is good. Some of the rest of us have been here a long time. They're working about 20 hours. Well, we're probably looking like zombies, but we're doing a reasonable job too.
Perry Crosswhite, good luck, and thanks very much for talking with us.
Thanks, Kerry. Happy to.